Hey everyone, how's it going? My name's Adam, and on today's show, we're going to talk about the budget 30-gallon tank. Welcome back to the Orchard Corals YouTube channel, where the goal is to get you into reefing. Today, I'm going to take you through the 30-gallon budget reef tank that I set up about 3 months ago. It's a 30-gallon rimless tank. It measures 30 inches wide, 18 inches tall, and 12 inches deep. I've had this tank for approximately 7 years when I picked it up from a fellow reefer. I got this tank initially when I brought my work tank back home. Unfortunately, due to family and having kids, I had to tear down the tank, and it's been sitting empty in my office for the last 5 years. About 3 months, I got the itch to get back into the hobby. So I cleaned out the tank, I took everything out of it that had been sitting there for 5 years, put new sand in, put new rock work in, filled it up. And I'm not gonna lie, I broke the cardinal rule of reefing. I got impatient. I was just so excited to get back into the hobby that I didn't really spend the time on the aquascape, and it wasn't something that I'm really happy with. I didn't check it from all sides, and I just got impatient. I wanted to get fish in, I wanted to get coral in, and I really wish I had waited. I'm gonna have a video a little later on where I go through and I redo the rock work, but I really don't suggest doing this. I don't recommend it at all because I have to be extra careful on making sure I don't break any corals, making sure I don't hurt any of the invertebrates or any of the fish. And honestly, it's just better to spend the time to make sure that you're happy with it, look at it from the top down, look at it from the sides and the front, before you even fill it up with water. Nothing good comes when you speed things up in reefing. Take your time, be patient. All right, let's hop into the tank. I'm gonna take you from the top down to the bottom. We're gonna look at all of the coral, we're gonna look at all of the hardware. Let's go. All of the stuff that you're about to see, I'm gonna link to in the description below. So you can go click on it and buy it if you want it for your tank. All right, so first up, we've got the Mars Aqua 165 watt LED. This is what you would call a black box LED. You can find them on Amazon for between $100 and $150. It's a good beginner LED. I've had it for about 7 years now. It grows soft coral well, slower or lower light LPS, and it does do some SPS growth, especially for the easier SPS corals. I've also put it on my freshwater tank for a while, just running the white channel, and it did really well on that tank. Because it's a cheaper LED, there's no real automation. This is hooked up to a simple timer, but that's really it. You can't do cool things like ramping up and down. You can't do things like sunrises and sunsets like you can in more expensive lights. In the future, I'm going to be swapping this out for an Aqua Illumination 16HD prime light, and I'm going to do a review on that later. Next up, we've got the Seachem Tidal 55, which is meant for tanks up to 55 gallons. There you can see there's a flow valve, which can push up to 250 gallons per hour. I use this filter for mechanical and chemical filtration, and we have the live rock for biological. It retails for about 65 Canadian dollars and comes with a bunch of different nice things. Hey Speedy. It has that telescoping feature so you can make it shorter or smaller. It has a clogged indicator that pops up when the media gets clogged, and then there's a surface skimmer, which is really nice and allows the water on the surface to pass through all the filters. Here we have a Jager 150 watt heater. I really like this heater, it just gets the job done. I've never had one fail, though some of the new aluminum heaters are really nice. I use a Tunze Osmolator Nano as my auto top off. It has a little float valve there that activates the pump below that you'll see. I use an old 5-gallon jug that I cut the top off and put the pump down, and this really allows me to keep a couple weeks worth of fresh water there. That's the heater controller, which I'll show in a second, and the Jebao SOW-8 pump. It has a bunch of different waves that you can use, and I really like it because it pushes water through the tank really easily, and it was relatively affordable. Here you can see the controllers for both the heater as well as the Jebao SOW-8 pump. And it allows me to keep my temperature and my waves at the rate that I like it. On the back wall, I've got a frag rack that holds some of the corals that I'm waiting to grow out. I've got some utter chaos there, some eagle eyes, you can see some blonde eyes below that, rastas, some of my favorite corals there. Here we see a bird's nest coral. It's about an inch tall and an inch and a half wide. We've got some algae on the back. And you'll see a forest fire digita SPS with a hermit crab hanging off of it. I actually fragged it and put a little piece down below. I was noticing that it was kind of branching off in a weird way, and I just wanted to place that down. Here we have a torch coral with purple heads, or purple tips. I really enjoy this coral, I like the flow that it gives. And then on the bottom of the tank right now, I have just a bunch of zoa frags. So we have rainbow incinerator, we have the green goblin, we have a forest fire mushroom, we have a green apple, more rainbow incinerators, sunny bees, and I'm not sure what that one is. It's named coral, and those are the corals that I have. Alright, that was a 30-gallon budget reef tank. Thank you for taking a stroll with me. I'm going to continue to do updates about every month to see as the coral grows, as I change the rock work, and just keep you updated. Thank you very much. If you liked this video and found it interesting, please like and subscribe to the channel. It helps me out the most. Next week, we're going to look at green star polyps.